now we are ready to start adding our name to our artwork. And my page is currently blank, but yours has your face down this side of your paper. And what I'm going to show you is two different ways to add your name. One is if you have an odd number of letters in your name, and one if you have an even number of letters in your name. So my first name has an odd number. I have 5 letters in my name. The S is the center. So you'll notice that this fold going across right here is the center between the top and the bottom of my page. So what I am going to do with my pencil, remember I'm working in marker so you can see my lines. You are doing this in pencil, and this you want to do incredibly lightly, because this way when you go to erase, it's going to erase very well, because these are just guidelines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my S, and if I want it slanted or at an angle, that's okay too. And I am going to put that S right on that fold. So the middle of my S is cutting right through that fold. So now I have my S on my paper. I like continuing down. And then I might move my A over here a little bit. And I am trying to write neatly, and I am doing this. You would be doing this lightly with your paper. And I am trying to make them... I'm going to make this one have a tail. It is okay if your name goes into your shoulder. Don't panic over that. And then I'm going to come up here. And since I moved my A over, I'm also going to move my U. And then my S, I'm going to make it look like a capital or an uppercase S. So I am going to make that larger. And so now I have my name. Why we drew this lightly the first time was that now we're going to go around it and we're going to turn it into a bubble letter or a block letter. For this one, I'm going to use a block letter. My next one, I will do a bubble letter so you can see the difference and see both. So for a block letter, at the end, I'm going to make lines crossing. I shouldn't have done that swirl. I'm going to make lines crossing. And then I'm going to follow that guide that I made. And do the same thing. Follow that guide. Then what I would do is I would erase that line. And I end up with a block letter S. With the U, it's very similar. So I'm going to come down and connect to there. Here, I loop around and connect. I come up, and then I go down and connect. And now I have my block U. The S is the same again, so I trace around. So now all I'm really doing is I'm giving that letter some extra thickness, and this way it will be able to be colored in, or I could put a pattern inside of it or something like that. A's can be a little bit tricky. What you do is you make your mark at the end, you come up around the belly, and then back down. Then you also need to remember to make the inside. So then I would have all of that erased, and you can kind of see that block letter A. The N will come in, and this swirl will work. It's going to make it look a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to come down following the stem right here. Come around, up and connect. And then I like going top to bottom. I think it makes life easier. And connect, and then I would erase this line. So now I have a block letter of my name. And once those are erased, then you would go in and add the lines or polka dots or whatever. What part of this project is you're designing a font. A font is the style of lettering, and you want them to all be similar. So since I have an uppercase, maybe I would put stripes in here, and then I might do polka dots in all of my lowercase. So they would still go together in some way. Now, for Tuttle, that's an even number. So I have T, U, T, T, L, E. I have 3 over here, 3 over here. So this space between my letters is going to be my name. So I know that right here is where my cutoff is, and I have to fit 3 above and 3 below. I'm going to get my T on here. So I'm going to go T, and maybe I'm going to make them overlap a little bit, and that's all right. So I'm going to make this one a little bit overlapping in the same spot. This one, L, is going to overlap. Okay, so T, T, L, E. I have to fit my U up here. And then my uppercase T is going to be right there. So remember, on this one, it's going to be like our face is out here off of the page, and you see this. So it will be easier if I fold that under. And now you can see that a bit better. So next I said that we were going to turn this one into bubble letters. So I'm going to do a bubble right around so you see how I just went with a bubble right around, and then I would erase all of my guidelines and I would end up with an empty bubble shape. Now I would curve up and around, come in. So by writing it out lightly in pencil first, it makes it so much easier to create the letter around your guide. It helps you know exactly where you need to turn so that your letters look nice and neat. It's a great trick, and honestly, this is how I do it pretty much all the time. Every now and then I'll be confident enough to not have to draw the guidelines, but most of the time I like having those guidelines. Now, if you have made your letters too close together, is it okay if they overlap? Absolutely. Then you would pick which letter goes in front and which letter goes behind. And I just messed that up. Well, if you make a mistake, you can erase it. So what I would do is I would redraw that E. I would come around, and then I would do the hole in the middle. Then when I erase, I would have a nice bubble E. Okay, so I couldn't erase it because I was working in marker. You would be able to erase it and redraw right there. So see, even the teacher makes mistakes sometimes. So next, you're going to figure out what you need to do for your name. You can rewatch the video to help you, but I would lay out your name. If you have an odd number, your middle letter ends up on the line. If you have an even number, it kind of goes between these two letters to help. The next video that you are going to look for is going to be the one about coloring in your portrait.